Hey guys, Hailey Lain aka Key Black here, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Cuff, where I'm going to be going along with the G Gundam discussion from the last couple of episodes, with episode 4, the introductory episode for Neo France's representative, Monsieur Georges de Sand, who is, might be exactly my favorite kind of character, so, you know. I'm a simple woman. You put an attractive man in front of me, make him kind of knightly, and then have him, you know, give him a berserker switch. I'm in. The first 5 episodes of G Gundam, they are slower than the rest of the series. The plot really kicks in on episode 6, but this is another really fun introductory episode, especially because, you know, like I said, Georges is one of my favorite types of characters. He's, you know, he kind of makes his entrance. The first thing we see with Georges in is basically this kind of stereotypical, the prince defending the princess's honor, and you've got this like other country's representative Gundam fighter who's playing the role of the brigand or the challenger who's about to get his ass handed to him by the knightly prince, you know, just demonstrating this dynamic here. It's hilarious. Immediately, Georges is hilarious. His hair, the look, the vibe, it's like, okay, this is the B shonen of the series. This is the pretty boy, the guy with the wonderfully coiffed hair. You know, I could talk about that for quite a lot, but in the interest of actually talking about more stuff in the episode than just how handsome Georges de Sand is. Basically what happens here is before anything can even happen between the representative of Neo France here and the other representative, Domon once again basically just inserts himself into the situation. Takes out the other representative, basically disgraces him on the spot and is like, hey, France, fight me. And Georges is like, my, you have no manners at all. Bye. He flies off. You know, just like, I won't stoop to fight some meat-headed brigand like you. You have absolutely no grace whatsoever. The princess is just sitting there going like, oh, he's so cool. That's my knight, Mr. Georges de Sand. And God, throughout this episode, I think the princess is what makes it so damn funny for me, because like I'm sitting there going like, yeah, I understand you, princess. I'd want his attention too. It quickly becomes apparent, though, that Georges himself is not that interested in the princess, or at least he's acting like he isn't, because he'll say something like, my duty is to my country. Of course, princess, I swear fealty to you. After all, it's my duty as the representative of Neo France. And she's just like, how can I get him to notice me, though? So she whips up this plot. God, it's so funny. She's writing Georges' name, like she's writing the G from Georges' name on her mirror in lipstick. It's like every stereotypical lovesick gal you've ever seen in an old movie. And she's going like, how could I possibly get his attention? Looks at the G. I know, erases the swoop from the G and just leaves the part that looks like a J, writes Japan in the lipstick on the mirror. Then she writes a ransom note from signed Japan, not even Neo Japan representative or Domon Kashu, just straight up Japan. Perfect French, basically saying, we've kidnapped the princess, come fight me if you want to get her back. Georges finds this and goes, I see. I guess I have to go get the princess back. Meanwhile, of course, the unwitting Domon and Lain, this is so much fun because like while all this stuff is happening, establishing Georges' character and like the kind of situation Neo France is in, we get a little bit of insight into what Domon and Lain are up to when they're not, you know, in the middle of some fight that Domon's thrown them into. Lain is fixing up the Shining Gundam after the encounter with Georges earlier, and Domon's basically just kind of brooding over whatever it is his situation is. Lain's like, dude, you can't just keep throwing yourself into situations like that. We'll get disqualified from the tournament, and then who's gonna save your dad? So it's like, what? What do you mean, save his dad? God, I love it so much. Domon throws basically a tantrum, is like, I know, stop reminding me, you know? Storms off, leaving Lain behind, and as he does so, we get, oh my god, it's so good. My first watch through of G Gundam, I really liked Ulube, the mask-wearing Phantom of the Opera looking guy. Later in the series, some things come out, which makes this first impression, the first shot we get of him on the monitor after Domon has left the scene, way scarier than it was the first time. I love it so much. But anyways, I'm getting really sidetracked. Domon encounters the princess out and about, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll play along with your kidnapping plot. And so As long as it'll get that France guy to fight me. And so, you know, he's kind of acting the part of the mustache twirling villain, ties her to a tree. She's like, the knots are too tight. He's like, give me a break. I've never done this before. Rain is like, that freaking idiot. They locked her in the bathroom. You know, she's a mechanic, so she was able to get out, but there's some great animation in that sequence on her expressions. But she gets out, she kind of rushes to the field around the same time that Georges gets there. The two Gundams are fighting. Georges is playing up the role of like, how dare you, unhand the princess, you fiend! And Rain is like, princess, this is ridiculous. We gotta get you untied. Knock this off. And so while the princess is going like, no, my Georges is here to save me, Georges pipes in while fighting Domon going, she's right, princess. Right now, the only thing on my mind is this man in front of me as I fight him. I'm not thinking about you at all. And he makes this big show of basically like scolding Domon for getting distracted by Rain's presence as well. Like, what, you're being distracted by a woman on the field? And then not 2 seconds later, the remains of the Eiffel Tower start to fall right on top of where the princess is. And Georges drops everything and rushes to go save her. And I'm just like, yeah! I love this stuff. It's great. Basically, the episode ends with Domon doesn't want to land the finishing blow after like a show of just serious badassery, good-heartedness like that. And they kind of part again on friendly terms. And once again, we kind of get one of those unlikely friendships from the end of the episode. I love this stuff, and I'm loving the slow gathering of the main cast of the series, because it's not doing it in that kind of now join our party and we'll travel to the next town kind of way that I'm used to. It's like it feels really organic and really fun. So I'll cap it off there, guys. Thanks so much for listening and for watching, and I will see you in the next episode with Argo Gulski of Neo Russia. See you then.